Hello again there, friends and fans. Raptor here, and welcome to Frostpunk 2. Today's video will be covering the Utopia Builder mode, aka Endless mode, which takes place in many of the cities from the original game as they thrive 30 years past the events of Frostpunk 1 into Frostpunk 2. This game is absolutely, pun intended, chilling, as the music delivers just as much as it did in the first game, and the story is very, very good so far as well. You can find the full story playthrough here on the channel, so make sure you subscribe, turn on that notification bell, and hit that like button to see more of Frostpunk and Frostpunk 2 in your feed. And of course, we will be live streaming the Utopia Builder mode as well on the channel via our Twitch channel. Now, the cool thing about this game is that it has Twitch integration where people watching you live stream can vote on the laws too. So instead of a book of laws in this game, we try to pass laws to different delegates of different factions or political groups and try to keep them happy by making promises, and that's all a part of the Utopia Builder mode as well. So definitely make sure you follow on Twitch, subscribe here, and we may do some giveaways for all you folks watching as well. So make sure you join our Discord. All that aside, let's go ahead now and take our first look at Utopia Builder mode in Frostpunk 2. We have ourselves the wind-swept peaks, the fractured gorge, broken shore, horizon, crater. Now these are starting to sound a little familiar, aren't they? The original cities from Frostpunk, or at least where they were built. Dreadnought and Hanging Rock, which I believe was the place for Winterhome. And then it circles back to Windswept Peak. So we have 7 different maps to choose from and many different difficulties as well. I think we'll go ahead and probably start with, there's actually quite a bit of descriptions to read on these. This one, Broken Shore, reminds me of the events of the On the Edge DLC, the last one for the original Frostpunk, with the first one being a prequel to all the events of the main story known as The Last Autumn. So I'm really thinking about Broken Shore, but all of these look great and provide their own unique balances and advantages and disadvantages that make them really, strive, so that way you can try to survive. I really want to try Crater, but a lot of the main story mode takes place there too, so let's go ahead and jump right into the map of, not Hanging Rock, but Broken Shore. There we are. Perfect. Initial plans aim to use the nearby lake for fishing. The water froze solid during the Great Storm, but the site remains viable due to its vast frozen forest and surface oil. Ooh. Randomized resources and Frostland, access to forest and oil, but not iron. Large area. Interesting. Now, another thing to note is that, yes, each of these maps are also randomized outside of the main camp, so the map that you build in will always be the same, but the resources around you will always be different out in the Frostlands. So every playthrough will be different times 7 maps. Pretty badass, man. All right, let's go ahead and select this location. All right, so our goals, our ambitions can also be different too. So 7 different maps with different goals towards the end. So we can build a prosperous future, we can colonize the Frostlands, or we can develop a metropolis. So we can build a significantly large main capital city, like our main city that we'll build in. We could also build a prosperous materials by stockpiling a lot of food and goods and materials. And we can also do the standard, establish a populace with food, fuel, and material colonies. So that basically means an ensured way to survive for a very long time. We also have different communities we could choose from. So these will all be our political groups that we'll be working with or against us. And we could also randomize those too. But we can take thinkers and lords, laborers and merchants. This is very reminiscent of the scenarios of the original Frostpunk with, like, for example, the lords. In the refugees scenario, the workers and the lords who were trying to oppress them. And then there was also, of course, the scenario for the Last Autumn, where you were focused mostly on workers and engineers, and that certainly seems to be present here too in the third one with laborers and merchants. Maybe. We'll see. More on trading. Well, let's go for foragers and merchants, and we'll start on citizen difficulty. Moderate challenge, but a margin for error and room to correct mistakes. So that's good. With the other difficulties being officer, steward, and finally captain. And a survival mode 2, which basically means there is no pausing and only one save upon exit. A true Iron Man mode. Let's start on citizen. Colonize the Frostland with the standard, everything right down the middle. Let's begin. Welcome to Frostpunk 2 Utopia Builder. Let's go. Oh. I wonder if this is our character, by the way. Each time you start a new game, there's a different face before you. It's really insignificant, but I think it, like, kind of just randomly makes us the steward, like that's who we are. A new beginning. The cold of the world changes people. It changed us. Us, the foragers. Natural survivalists adapt to the harsh Frostland conditions. The machinists, descendants of groups that built the initial cities and maintained their machinery. The laborers, factory workers, and manual laborers who learned you must toil together to survive. We choose you as our steward to lead the city as overpopulation looms and resources dwindle. We all dream of a better future. What it should look like, this we can't agree on. Tension stirs and radicals rear their heads. Navigating this will be your ultimate challenge. We will build a bright future. Broken Shore. Wow, that map looks incredible. A dream of Utopia. The work of building a promised land begins. Resources run low after years of barely getting by. We must expand. We must construct basic infrastructure and begin researching better methods. We also need a council to vote on common rules. We must learn to live and live together, lest we die apart. We will build a bright future. It begins. Wow, major goals already. Let's pause and take a look at what we must do. We must establish a supply of 10,000 food, 10,000 fuel, and also 10,000 materials. These are colonies that we'll use to supply the city, and eliminate all problems from the city, 0 out of 5. So we're likely to find out what those are a little bit later. Looking around the map, we have ourselves the forest that they mentioned, and it looks like even more down there, down by the, I guess the shore, and a little lake there that they mentioned during the intro, where we were supposed to use that as a spot for fishing. Unfortunately, it didn't really work out for us. Eventually, we'll be able to explore the world map, which, when we zoom out far enough after building our expedition post, we'll see different areas around us. It'll be called, like, the mountains, or the wastelands, or the flats, or something like that. So these are the areas that will be randomized around the city each and every time that we play. And then, of course, we can kind of randomize things if we want to before starting with the political groups and other things like that, or kind of choose what they want. This is great. There's our generator. There's our city. And generator is now on. We also have mini pop-ups that will be popping up here, too. There's an incredible amount of helpful information for your first few playthroughs. So there's no real tutorial aside from playing Frostpunk 2, as it kind of was in the first game. So just go slow and pause often, and you'll be all right. There's our population there of 8,000 people, 4,800 people free to work, though. And we've got, I think this means nobody, like no short jobs. I think everything is actually accommodated fully. We have heat stamps, prefabs, cores. We also have ourselves shelter, food, materials, and goods that everybody will want. And over here it will be getting a lot colder. We're already at negative 20°C, but it'll be getting colder around day 80, or week 80, perhaps. So, yeah, all right. There's our merit. These are things that we'll be able to kind of adapt to, research, or unlock through our council, our book of laws, basically. Progress, adaptation, merit, equality, tradition, and reason. These will be kind of different choices that we have to go down. I think they directly oppose each other, but they're under the same categories. So that's interesting. We have foragers here, laborers, then we also have our machinists, too, as they had mentioned, and more sub-factions will pop up for each of these groups as we play. So there could be more radical or liberal foragers, or laborers, or machinists, so they can kind of blend a little bit and be sub-factions that are more pushy or maybe more reasonable than others. All right, coal is dwindling, so that should be our first and foremost goal. And if we hit X, we have ourselves frost breaking, which we immediately must do to try to colonize the world around us, or start digging, or gathering resources, whatever it may be. All right, there's our expedition post. We certainly need that, and a bunch of coal over here too. We'll need that, so certainly important to go up that direction. We also have a lot of materials down here, and a lot of fertile farmland, and another expedition post, infinite farmland here, and more prefabs, which will be needed to build stuff. We've got 1,500 to start, and I think, really, honestly, the first thing we should do is start going for that coal. So let's start making our way down that way. And as we go down there, we might actually want to reveal some of these locations as we go, and we'll frost break a few of them later. Actually, I'm going to start right up against the cliff and work our way down here towards the coal. That music is outstanding. Peter really did a great job on that one. Interesting thing here. The game has updated, and the developers have gone for a long line for when you've clicked. It used to be a reticle, a circle that would fill up, but here it shows you directly 8 out of 8. That might be different from Utopia mode and the scenario mode, too. Keep in mind, I'm playing just a few days before release, so the developers are still putting in final touches, so some things may change. So if there's something you don't like, it definitely could be different upon launch, and or weeks afterwards, too, because 11-bit Studios delayed this game. Listen to the community, listen to creators and everyone else who said, hey, you should definitely change these things, and now we have a much more lovely looking UI. It looks great, and really a props to them for listening, for the development team and the publisher to be like, all right, we're going to take some more time and make sure that this isn't a good game. We want to make an amazing game. And they must do exactly that, because to compete with Frostpunk and how much of a whoa scenario that game was, where you're throwing kids into the mines and cutting back on food and throwing sawdust into soup, yeah, you gotta top that game. How the hell do you do that? How do you make a better Terminator 2? You know what I'm saying? Oh, what's going on over here? There's like a little smoke. Not exactly sure what that was, but the frost breaking is complete. Maybe it was the exhaust from these machines. Okay, we've now broken the frost down to some of these coal deposits. We're going to get a few more, though. And it seems like there's an infinite one down here, too. That's good. And we'll continue to frost break towards our expedition post, so we can possibly utilize the Frostlands ASAP. A little more frost breaking to do. And while we wait, let's go ahead and build something. We could do some more housing, which we're short on. So let's go ahead and get started with that. We'll build that around the generator. Great spot out here to expand to. We'll try to do that. And we'll build out, I think, this way. And we'll build another district there. Or we could expand this district and put in our research department. So that's what we'll do next, too. Now, I'm probably not going to be playing as optimal as I could. I want to use this series as more of an explanation as to some of the basic features, as, you know, I've already got about maybe 12 to 18 hours with the game in total through the beta and through playing at 11-bit Studios at an event that they had in Warsaw, as well as playing a little bit of the story mode. So there's still much more to learn, and that's what makes this game great, is not going in knowing everything of what to expect for the next disaster, what to prepare for, but to go in completely without the knowledge of what's coming next and to try to deal with it. And that is where this game really shines, is laying a trap for you and you walking right into it and trying to fight your way out. That is the beauty of Frostpunk. And later on, when you learn how to do that, you become better at doing that, and then turning up the difficulty, and then eventually trying to do the ultimate challenge of, I'm going to play through on the hardest difficulty, no pause, one save, that kind of thing. And that is insane that you're actually able to do that in this game. First couple of times playing on just the easy difficulty or normal difficulty on the first game main scenario, you think to yourself, oh, this is easy, I could do it. And then you're up against the ropes and almost dead, and or die, and have to do it again and again. And that's the beauty of Frostpunk. All right, let's build ourselves the extraction district for our coal here. Gonna build a couple of these. There we go. Excellent. A whole colony there of extraction. Beautiful. Well, I say colony because it's not connected to the main city, but you know what I mean. A little district. All right. If we build, we will know bounty. Insured 100%. Eliminate all problems from the city, 3 out of 5. I wonder if that means that needs to be 0 or if it needs to be 5 out of 5 eliminated. It should be 5 out of 5, I believe, then checkmark itself. Sick and injured. We're getting some sick and injured. Okay, now we're going to start the housing district upon expansion, and then we should be able to build the research depot within there, or the research institute. So let's go ahead and do that, and we'll expand the city along these lines here. I don't think we can frost break anymore along the... Oh, we can. We can go right up to the cliffs, but I'm not going to do that just yet. We're going to try to now go for the food, I think, as we've already made our logistics district down there, or at least cleared the way for it. We're going to go down this way now and start clearing out the prefab area. Well, let's see. Sometimes the game actually does you a little courtesy. The area in the darker colors where we can build, so the white is the frost that we need to remove. So we can start building this way. Damn, this music is so good. Absolutely incredible. Look at that. Amazing. Okay, we've got the district expanding. We've got the frost breaking going on here. We've got the coal mines being built. We also have a way to get to our way station. Prefabs are still looking pretty good. I think I'm going to immediately try, if we can, to go out and claim that district. I want to be able to build on that. It doesn't look like we can. Industrial, extraction, food, and housing. Sends charting expeditions to the Frostland, transports resources between cities, colonies, and outposts. Oh, I see. We need to go one more in order to connect. So we won't be able to connect here. We need to connect directly to the compass where it's showing that. So that edge also needs to be cleared. But that's fine. We can build a large area here because remember, we will have a district that will need to be built and grow in order to support that. I think the district itself implies that there's workplaces, storage depots, and maybe even homes there for people to live while they're working. They might go there for a few weeks to work a shift and then come back. It'd be a long distance to walk every day or to go to work. So I like to think of some of these districts as also being areas where people may sleep. Oh, looks like we have our first problem. Looming cold problems in the city. As cold problems in our city continue to worsen, we must take action to protect our citizens. In these harsh conditions, people need a roof over their heads and enough heat to warm their homes. Is the generator powerful enough to heat the city, or do we have to extract more fuel? If our current methods aren't enough, we should consider alternatives. Cold has risen to a concerning level. Yes, so now we probably should build more homes, actually. We were building more just now by expanding, but yes, we will constantly need more homes, so let's do exactly that. And we will build another district there. And this district is completing as well. So, yeah, more people will always be a thing in most of these scenarios. Some of the campaign missions don't always require that. Some of the population is limited, but in this scenario, it is all about growing. The city must thrive, really, more than just survive. Okay, we can now build a building within there, which will be our research institute in the expanded district for the housing that we built first, so that'll go up next. So not only do we have to build the housing district, then expand it, now we have to build the research institute. So some things take some time. So you can already tell we're 10 weeks in, which is a very long time. All right, looks like we've frostbroken some of the farming land down here. That's good. Let's continue to do that as we work our way towards another logistics post. That might be a good idea. And we'll build out that way too. So yeah, definitely branching off like that is a good idea. All right, let's continue. Okay, frost breaking is done down here for our new logistics center. There we go. We'll build that onto our way station. Excellent. And soon we'll be able to explore the Frostlands. What's great about this game, too, is close up you can see all the little roads that are roads for automatons. There'll also be trains in the game that you can send out and build large highways that go out from your city and your main district, like here, like your main city area, that then can be sent out to the Frostlands. So big amounts of resources can be brought back via train, which is awesome. Let's see. What do we want to do next? Well, I think we're going to check out and see if we can zoom in on one of these districts too. Yeah, this option here, zoom in on a district, yeah, allows you to get a lot closer to a district and looks so damn cool. The tilt shift on this is amazing. You can see people down there, like, I don't know, children hopping around and dancing, it looks like, and people just chatting on their day-to-day. You can see like the path here and the street lights. Really cool. But the closest zoom you can get into is about this, with the furthest zoom being about here before it goes to the world map. So certainly a lot to be able to kind of peek at and zoom in on. Very nice. Okay, well, coal is now plus 10. Housing will need some work, and we need to work on goods, which means we'll need to work on gathering materials. So that should be our next thing then, is to go to another extraction district to start working on pulling out the prefabs, and then we'll expand upon that by getting construction working on the industrial districts. And food will be of the essence as well shortly. Let's go with this first. And now we'll work our way down to food as soon as that's frost broken the rest of the way. I think we could probably... Actually, should be able to expand to all of that now. There we go. We'll get 6 districts there to start gathering food for us. Perfect. Now, food is going down 104, so we'll need to supply at least that in order to break even. And housing is going as well. So let's on pause and watch everything take place. So we're building our logistics.
Be alarmed by any unusual noises coming from the generator. Routine maintenance work is underway.
Yeah, don't worry about the spark shooting out there. That's fine. And I think that's the original voice actor from the base scenarios. Very nice. He would say, you know, stow your tools and all that. All right, let's pause again and let's do some research. Let's go ahead and go down to our idea tree, which is over here. Idea tree. We need new ideas to move forward. However, different communities may propose diverging answers to the same issue. They will only pursue solutions that align with their worldview. Choosing a community to develop an idea will improve your relations with that community. I see. Well, our relationship right now with everybody is still pretty good, so we don't have to worry about that too much. I think we should definitely work on coal mining first, and let's see what their ideas are for that. So we're going to make some improvements to the coal mines, but keep in mind this is just heating. There's also improvements for resources, the Frostland itself, the city, society, and different hubs too. So, and some of these will be available a little bit later, but there's our rail hub, so we can make trains, communications, surveillance, air transportation, emergency medical services, all good stuff. But I think still our first and top priority should be heat, and then maybe we'll go down something for resources like sawmills and hothouses and improve upon those. Okay, coal mines it is, with the three factions providing a solution. We have dust coal mines, we have blasting coal mines, and we have shaft coal mines. So, squalor will be increased by the last two. The first two will actually have problems. Squalor and disease for the first two. But the last one will give us 120 coal output. And we'll have a cheaper construction cost. Looks like 39% of the city supports the blasting coal mine. Let's see. Rapidly exploit our coal deposits, generating okay, that'll generate noxious fumes, so we could have a little bit of a problem with medical there as well. I think what I really want to do is go down the shaft mine opportunity, but I think we'll go down the blasting coal mines for now. And it looks like the research time on all of those is the same too. So let's go with the middle option. That'll be alright. So heat stamps are like our currency. We're generating that every so often. We're generating right now 13 per week. And we can immediately basically ask everybody for donations if we want to. So we can click on the forgers, for example, and then say, hey, we need you know, as much heat stamps as you could spare. That'll hurt our relationship with them, but we can pay them back later with those heat stamps if we need it immediately for a research project or a construction project, and then later on it goes well, and then we get extra heat stamps from more people moving in or people being happier or whatever. Like, for example, here it's demand for goods. It's almost like Anno. If you think about like Anno 1800, for example, the more goods and services you provide your people, the happier they'll be and the higher that they'll pay per, you know, week or whatever. So in this game, yeah, it's per week, and here it's, you know, 7 and then 3.6 for the lack of goods. So we'll get to that as soon as we complete the factories over here. So far, so good. Overall trust at the bottom. We're accepted, and there's no real major tension, too, so we've got to remain vigilant and monitor the relationships between the three factions that we have here at the bottom so far. Then our trust overall with the yellow bar, then also tensions like between us and those factions themselves. A lot to worry about. Right now we got a little bit of a problem with cold, so we're still working on that. We should build another housing district, but unfortunately we don't have the heat stamps for that. We'll need, looks like 40. We only have 29, so we'll have to continuously provide more stuff to the people, and they'll pay for more of that construction. Ah, glorious music. Such a cool spot to build on. Honestly, all of the maps I have not seen except for the Dreadnought map that we saw previously, and also the Crater, which is basically the original game where it takes place. I think the city of New London. So, very cool. Alright, logistics are almost ready. That's great. Food district's under construction. Wait a minute. Oh, that's incorrect. This here says logistics district, unfinished state, but here it says food district. Uh-oh. Devs? Alright, logistics district built. They got me scared for a minute. Yeah, again, pre-release, don't worry. Okay. Well, now we can go out and explore. Well, let's check out the Frostlands. 8,000 people in the city. Around us we have the hills, the crevasse fields, the plains, and also the sea of ice. If we click on these two, it'll also tell us how dangerous it will be to explore each of these areas. We might want to bring more people or more equipment to go there. Deadly if we go to the crevasse fields. But it'll tell you what you might find there. So steam cores and coal could be found there. The plains is also very safe to explore. So north and south are pretty good for us to explore. And northwest and east are a little dangerous. So, but finding oil would be great, as well as materials. And finding coal and steam cores would be good as well. So let's start there. Let's make sure we have ample coal so we can focus on other things. It'll take them 16 weeks and 5 days to be able to chart that area. So let's launch an expedition there. Now, a cool thing is once we've kind of explored an area like this, we can make pathways and roads back to our main city. So there's a beautiful area right here where we can go right through a little valley. That we can build a road right back to the city. And it looks like the same in the north. But to go west, you know, we'll have to link in this way. That'll be all right. And to go east, that'll be all right as well. So not too bad. And we've got a little bit of protection from the wind. Look at how small our city is now in comparison. You can see the mountains. If we zoom all the way out, you can see the tiny little generator there and the massive cliffs around us and mountains. That's cool as hell. All right, let's send out that expedition. So they are on their way, and we are going to continue to improve our city. We've now got 55 heat stamps. I want to make sure everyone has a home. And so we're going to keep building onto our homes here. There we are. And we could also frost break and get a few more homes along the cliff if we want to, or down here maybe. Seems like it could be buildable there. I'm not sure if that's unbuildable or not, but I think it could be. We're all out of money again. Oh, but the factions are still rather happy with us, and we better not ruin that. I think the longer we keep them happy, the better. I do want to, like, bulldoze and go straight into beeline, express line into research and unlocking stuff with those steam heat stamps, I mean, but we'll have to hold off on that. Okay, workforce. Oh, this is where our sickness is. These are unavailable workers due to sickness. So that'll be a thing until we get more focus on medical, which, you know, one thing at a time when it comes to research, so it will take some time to do that. We have shallow, fertile soil. It'll give us 100,000 food per each of these little sections. So we have food for a while. Oil. No oil here. Steam. No steam. And coal is plummeting, plummeting, plummeting. So good thing we went right into the steam research, or the coal research, to provide more steam in that generator. So the idea is now at 63%. We could add more, right? We could add more extraction, but we're kind of out of coal for now. So this is going to be a little bit of a tough point for us. So luckily we went for the coal right at the start with the expedition, and luckily we started to research coal extraction and better methods to do so right at the start. Yeah, all right. I also want to start extracting and starting to supply our people with materials. Housing should be dealt with soon. Food, we should be able to expand upon that shortly. But we should also get more materials so we can endlessly build those things. Wow, look at that. 100 million from the deep frozen forest. That's crazy how much is there. We're going to continue to expand upon some of these areas. Oh, we might need to frost break the rest of that. Let's do that first. Let's frost break the rest of our materials. And there seems to be more down there too. We'll build this whole district here. Alright, and that'll secure our materials, which are okay. We're not too bad. We're at 33,000 out of 50,000 maximum. 37,000 out of food out of 50. And housing, we're just short by now 2 homes. We're going to get more people, and I think we should expand another house here. So if we could expand by just frost breaking here, we could do those. We don't have to build a new district, but we could expand the existing ones and maybe get some other bonuses for doing that. Each of the housing expansions could give us something like a school or a hospital or something like that. So, you know, the first one already had the research district.
Please give the right of way to frost-breaking teams in transit.
He sounded annoyed. The weather guy. Traffic, weather, traffic. Brought to you by Midas. Trust the Midas Dutch. If you're going anywhere east towards the mining district, you're going to have a, well, it's cold, cold, cold. Bring a sweater. Mom doesn't need to remind you. Mother Nature does. Holy crap, is that a train? Game of the year. Wow, there it is. Oh my god, there's a streetcar. Wow, they built a frickin' tram out there. That's amazing. I've never seen that before. So you got people walking, people taking the tram. All right, I take back what I said about maybe people living at those districts. They just take the damn tram there. But I would imagine there's got to be people who like live and work there 24/7 for emergencies. All right, blasting coal mine is done, and the generator's very short, about to break down. That's not good. Well, not break down, but run out of coal. All right. So there's our empty building slot for the extraction district. And now that we've researched something, that would be our wonderful blasting coal mine. With 80 heat stamps, we should be able to get that. Now, here's the problem. We're about to run out of coal, and I think that's going to be a bad thing for everyone. So we're going to ask everybody for a little bit of a, just a little bit of a loan. Just a little bit of a loan here. Now, I think the machinists will be happy with that blasting coal mine. Is that the people who were the happiest with that? Let's see. We went down, yes, the middle one, which was the blasting coal mine. So they're the ones who we agreed, you know, improved our relationships with them to go for that project. So we're going to need some funds from you to be able to build it. Hope you're not too mad. But it will prevent everyone from freezing to death. So maybe, you know, don't be so mad. All right, let's build that blasting coal mine there. And that should provide us with a little bit more coal. Oh, boy. Zeitgeist City Direction. Dude, everything. That, I think, is here, maybe. I don't know. There's so much to learn. Okay, but we've eliminated all problems in the city. We've made problems illegal, as my first act is deity and God King. So that's good. Vote for me. Don't worry. I'll do it for you. So generous of them to donate. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Now, the next thing we're probably going to be tasked with is building our area for voting. And I'm not sure if we can do that just yet. We might have to maybe research that. No, the council hall. We have that unlocked right from the beginning. So we can start with our quote-unquote book of laws here, too. That'll take 200 people, 80 heat stamps, and 40 prefabs. So let's get on to democracy, then. The next backbone of our society. Let's also go on the extraction for the district that we just unlocked here, too. Beautiful. All right, so housing should be solved shortly. And the next big thing is, yeah, materials. So let's work on expanding the housing district. And I think we'll expand this one here. Did they finish frost breaking? I think they did. Oh, we need 50 prefabs to expand. Ooh, okay. But we can build without it, right? No, we'll need more prefabs for that. So we got to wait for the prefab district over here to gather more of that. And, yeah, shows that they're extracting 650 over 43 weeks is how long we have remaining of that supply. So clearly the supplies around the city, you know, the scale of the city in this game is much bigger, but yet also so is the time. Rather than playing per day, we're playing like per week. Days are now weeks in this game. So that's why we've gone down here where there's potentially coal. So that way we can quickly solve the problem now and then further solve it down the line. All right, look at that. We were almost out of coal. We had 2,000 left, but now we're at plus 50 from the blasting coal mine. So that's awesome. You can see all the equipment there chumming away. Just churning it out. Cool. All right. And there it is. The council gathers for the first time. We can vote on new laws. So this is a really cool thing for everybody who may stream on Twitch or who you might watch streaming on Twitch. I wish YouTube would do the same thing and have YouTube integration, but you know, the Book of Laws is now something everyone can vote on. So when we stream this game in the future, we're going to do a, you know, council that everyone can vote on who's watching. So definitely make sure you follow links down below in the description on that one. And if you just skip to this part of the video, what are you doing here, pal? Are you, look at this guy. Look, I hate to call him out, but hey, back to the beginning of the line, pal. Watch the beginning of the video. Don't click through thinking you're just going to get to understand this game in 5 seconds, then say I'm playing it bad. You know how many people do that all the time? All the time. But hey, thanks for watching. Time for some democracy. I love democracy. All right, so there we are. So every 10 weeks, we could propose a new law of survival, city, society, or rule. It's kind of like how it is with the research a little bit. And then our factions, the forgers, the machinists, and the laborers. So we can click on them and kind of see what our relationship is with them, or how many of them make up the city. So like, for example, 20% of the city is laborers, almost 40% of the city is machinists, and just over 41% or over 40% is the forgers. So those are our two biggest factions there to think about. And yeah, so they wanted to do things like expedition support. I'm all down with that because that's what we're doing right now. City development for the machinists, I'm down with that as well. And supported quarantine for the laborers, which means that if somebody becomes ill, it's almost like extra food rations for the sick from the first game, where it'll give them a little bit more food to get well better. Now that'll take more of our food, but they'll be sick less, and that means a good thing for us. More workers right away. I think we're going to go for expedition support, so we're going to try to do any laws that help out with that. So let's go back to our council. And I don't know what that will be. Welfare. Oh, look at this. So it breaks it down by resource, frostland, and efficiency. I guess that'll be scout training probably for the expeditions. We have welfare, citizenship, and labor for city. Under society, we have ethics, family, and crime. And then under rule, captain's authority. This is a little more like emergency democracy powers. Palpatine mode, if you will. So you can unlock things like guided voting, where you can basically say, hey, this is the most important thing, and we need everybody to vote on this. That kind of thing. So it lets you kind of rush an emergency vote. But we'll see how many times the people let you do that. Well, let's see. What do we got? Welfare, citizenship, basic necessities. We could supply people with things that they need to get started in the city, which is good. Funerals, childhood would be a good one to do. I think everyone will agree on that as being a benefit to the city. But some of these are locked. Unformed idea, events or research can give it order. Okay, so it looks like we got to do more research, or we've got to get further into the game to get some of these unlocked. So let's go down with the children one first, or community service too. Well, there was contagion prevention. Maybe that'd be a good one too, because the other group did support that. Supported quarantine or infectious badge. That's not great. Shelter demand per capita is slightly increased. Okay, that could create a problem for us. But disease will be significantly decreased. That's not a major problem right now. We could also see who will vote for, against, and who are hesitant on that one. So 31 would definitely vote for it. 69, nice, might or might not vote for it, but nobody's opposed to it. Nobody will vote against it so far that we know of. There's also a community service. There we are. Expedition support. That's what we want. Exploration time is slightly decreased. That's going to be very important for us now, and is one of the benefits that's supported by the foragers. So we should definitely propose that. Love the backgrounds here too. 11-bit Studios, look at this. Look at what they've done. Each of the different options has like a different picture behind it. One of them shows like the like a tow rope or a grappling hook. Another one shows like a ruler and different documentation there, like one showing blueprints. I mean, we've got things like slide rules and wrenches and pens and spyglasses and other things like that. That's just cool as hell that they put in all this amount of research into what are we going to do for each and every one of these options. Like, some of the people who play this game may never see these options, but that definitely deserves some praise, because that's such a small thing that otherwise will go unnoticed because you'll be here for a second or two. Like harvesting funerals, showing somebody cut open on the slab, like them pulling their organs out, or ceremonial funerals, which has the coffin with the wreath and candles and such. I mean, that's crazy. So, but anyway, let's go back to our original option of the community service, expedition support. Propose that one. 49 people are hesitant, 16 are against, but I think we could pass it. Does it say what we need to pass the vote? Or how many votes do we need to pass the law? You were accepted. We could negotiate with people in order to get it. Who would be against it? Well, to negotiate, we could kind of give them a promise of something else that we might build or do for them, and that will make them more likely to vote for the law. So it'd be like, hey, what's in it for me? You want to sweeten the deal? Let's see. So foragers are partly open to negotiate. They're already for it, so that we don't need to worry about that. The machinists mostly against that, and then the laborers too. All right, the machinists we've been working with a lot lately. We gave them that blasting mine. We also took some heat stamps from them. So let's run a deal with them and make things a little bit better for it. So vote for. They will vote for passing the law during the next vote. You could also have them vote against too. You can manipulate them for or against if you want. So if we do that, we will promise them that we can give a research. We can research this, the machine-centric shifts. So we can go for that, mechanized sawmill or ventilation tower. I think we should definitely go for the first one, the machine-centric shifts. That'll of course increase productivity, but squalor will be increased. But we can work on reducing that by. Well, squalor is basically filth, grime, and pollution present in the city, produced by the generator, heavy machinery, and poor sanitation. So we can work on some things to counteract that. Like we can go for hospitals and other things for housing, better housing that will reduce squalor. Let's go with that now. Law supported 66.4. That's going to be a guarantee, but let's just do it. I don't think we needed that, but that'll be interesting to see. Let's try it. So only 51 were required on that. We got 81, so I think we could have totally passed that without it. But if we do keep the promise to the other faction, that will certainly increase our happiness with them, and we won't have to really repay that loan in a way that we took out. So good, but now we have what we really wanted was that expedition support, which is great. All right, let's work on something else now. We could work on the worker shifts that the machinists were promised, or we could totally screw them over and go against them. So that section right there where you saw the voting, that's where the Twitch chat can come in and kind of could make the game easier or harder. So all the people watching you, or that you might watch other people do, you could definitely screw them over. No matter how hard they try and make things definitely difficult for them. 9 weeks to research the machine-centric shifts. Let's do it. And I'll just take a little bit of our heat stamps that we've gathered. So now we're researching that, keeping our promise there. And yeah, we're still needing more of those materials. Very nice. We've got much more materials we can gather down there. Let's see how we're doing on the exploration of the plains now. They're going to only be there for another 6 weeks. Bad. And we might be able to find a coal mine or something there. And more of our coal problems will be solved. We certainly want to stockpile a lot more. Stockpile will be filled in 134 weeks. That's a long time, actually. But maybe not so long. But we are getting 120 from the extraction district and another 180 from the blasting coal mine. So that's cool. Ah, there we go. Now our material district has been built, and more prefabs are coming in. Excellent. So housing is not too bad off, but we are going to get more people who move into the city, so I think we should continue to expand. That's 50 heat stamps and 50 prefabs to do that. Wow, that's crazy. Okay. So the prefabs are coming in good. Heat stamps are now at pretty much what they were before. But we got to get materials up in order to make goods. I want to get materials up before we do goods, because that's our next biggest issue, as well as food. But food is not as critical. Not great. We have enough for 90 weeks, so that's over a year. But, yeah, we need materials to be able to build stuff to support that. So that'll be our next goal. Lots more stuff down there with the woods, too. And no iron, as they say, so we'll have to find a way to get iron. Damn, that music's so good. 93, 94% on the exploration. And it's only going to get colder. Eventually, we will have a giant whiteout, a giant storm to survive. And surviving that is a lot easier than before. But it takes a lot more to prepare for it. How are we doing with workers? Only 700 workers free. That only equals maybe 1 or 2 more districts. We could reduce a workforce.
Keep your face and ears covered.
Yes. All right, 100% exploration done on the expedition. Hey, look at that. All right. So now we've got all these different locations to go and explore. So this is almost like scouting from Frostpunk 1, but all at once now that we've explored it. We can build a trail or a skyway to the coal mining complex, and now we got that. Great. So 400 coal until it's deposited, 200 coal is depleted. That's great. All right, we could definitely build a trail there, but that's going to take heat stamps and prefabs, and that's pretty far away. I couldn't get any further away in this district, so... But we do have a core worshipper. What? Core worshipper. Our scouts took shelter in this ice cave where they were startled to find they weren't alone. A man sat in the deepest chambers with crates of supplies and a core-powered furnace. It speaks to me. It tells me to stay, to wait for the great thaw, the man said again and again. He's clearly mad. Our scouts believe it would be a mercy to put him down. Then we could take the core to the city. Whoa. Take the core. End the man's suffering and bring the core to the city. Oh, wow. Wait, wait, that's going to reduce our scout teams by 5? What, is he going to take out 5 people? It'll give us 1 core, but we'll lose the teams. Units of scouts support crews and specialized Frostland workers. Frostland teams are needed to undertake operations outside the city. They're outfitted by the logistics districts. Wow. So that's 15 teams that are exploring this whole area. I don't know if we want to mess with that guy yet. What else do we got here? Successful hunters. Our scouts passed a group of jolly-faced hunters. They later described as having plenty of meat on their bones. In exchange for a spare heat lamp, the hunters revealed some details about their hunting grounds. A field full of lichen and moss where huge herds graze. Oh, wow. Following this bearing should lead to a huge source of food. Note the bearing. Have our scouts mark the charts with this bearing. Marks the map with the direction of a huge source of food. Oh, so it actually means that we may need to scout further. So we're starting to go down maybe a storyline where things could go good or bad. Okay. And then over here we have a crashed wagon. A crashed wagon lies in the snow. Its contents already looted a woman frozen inside the cabin. The small diary in her pocket tells how she stole the wagon and was hoping to sell the cargo materials to the city. The last line reads, "I just wanted a better life for the baby." Oh no. From the coordinates of the diary, the scouts discern the rough direction she traveled from. Have the scouts mark the charts. Alright, mark that chart. Mark that one for the food. Ah, okay. So it shows where we should go next. So I wonder how it'll tie in, though. I've marked multiple bearings, but which one is which? It's hard to tell. And we also now see that there's broken mountains there, hills, sea of ice. I wonder if the world is expanding a little bit. Plains. There's possible resources down here. The map shows that, but that doesn't mean it's true. Maybe it's just so you can kind of see things zipping by. Alright, well, let's go ahead and leave that man alone. I'm not desperate for steam cores, nor am I going to be mischievous on this one, although look at that. 1 steam core is all we have. I'll leave him alone, though. I'll do the honorable thing, but looks like we can come back later and kill him. Cool. Alright, if we need to. If we get desperate enough. But most importantly, we have our coal mining facility. So good, let's connect the trails. And this is great. So as you can see, it's going to take 10 teams, X number of weeks to do this based on how we click. And it's going to be imperative that you make the most direct line as possible. So, oh, but look at this. We can't get over these hills, so we have to go east. Look at that. That is cool. We actually have to chart a route through here. And we do need to connect to our logistics point up there. So we will have to go kind of around the city to get there. So you can see what it'll cost them to make that. So really, this is crazy. You're going to have to be, like, super optimal with your layout on stuff. Oh, look at that. I can't go. We're going to have to go this way? East or west? Well, we can't go east. So we would have to go from the... Okay. We will have to approach from the west then, because that's where the logistics center is. But if I had the other logistics center discovered and operational, we could connect down here. But I think later on we can delete these routes if we want to. So just laying this out is like a chess move. Oh, that actually connects to that point of interest there. I don't think we need to do that, but kind of neat that we can. And I wonder if we can connect directly. Okay, it looks like that will work. Great. Alright, so they'll go ahead and build that trail for a few weeks and spend all of our resources there. That is just amazing. Like, the small things like that. It's literally, it's just a line. The guy you're watching is impressed by a line being drawn on the map, but that is so cool. That is such a huge thing to be able to, like, prepare routes outside the city that will supply the city, and it takes time and resources and whatnot to do that. That's just really cool. Machinist demand met. The machinists are delighted you kept your word. They now look upon your rule more positively and consider you a leader with integrity. Relationship with the machinist is improved and trust rises. Oh, good. Yeah, overall trust is increased too. That's good. And we can take on another loan from these guys if we need to. But what we really need is more population. So let's see what else we can do there. Hopefully we'll find more survivors out in the Frostlands. I feel like we should continuously get more of these materials, honestly. And then we'll start working on goods. But materials, I think, I can't recall at the moment, but prefabs or materials are needed to maintain houses. The constant blowing of the wind and the harsh winter like this will eventually take its toll on buildings, and so there is an upkeep cost. But I don't see it at the moment. That could be in the scenarios, but I'm pretty sure there's an upkeep for some of these buildings. And that's why there's consumption of that stuff, even though we're not really making anything. Well, there you go. You can see that the blasting coal mine is consuming 60 materials, the extraction district 150, food district 25, and logistics 25. Ah. Looks like the council is in session again. We can do another vote. Voting in 10 weeks for worker shifts, machine-centric shifts. Didn't we already, Oh, I guess we researched that. Oh, that... Okay, I forgot about this. Yes. Certain laws can be researched, and then we can vote on whether or not we want to do them, which is what it was alluding to previously in the section here. Anyway, let's vote on it. Looks like it did pass. Okay. Now, I didn't have to keep my promise of enacting it. I just had to keep my promise of researching it. But that should make the machinists happier and will increase our productivity anyway.
A law has passed in the council. Take heed.
Soon machines will dictate when I go to the loo. That's the bathroom. Oh, and look at that. It's not a straight line after all. The game actually bends and weaves it to the ridge lines. Look at that. That's crazy cool. Scouts rivalry. Expedition support. Steward. The deeds and findings of our scouts are the talk of the town. Some of them grew in popularity to the point of receiving letters and gifts. Ooh. It's boosting our scouts' morale and also has started causing jealousy and rivalry. Recently, a brawl between two crewmates erupted over a portrait sent by a young lady. Ooh, I'll take that for evidence, boys. It's gonna be a long trial, so I'll need that. Some officers welcome this extra motivation, but others have expressed concern and are urging you to intervene. Ooh, look at this. Let people send gifts. Exploration time will be extremely decreased, but if we prohibit that, relations will improve with the laborers, but tension will be increased too. I want that exploration time decreased. We're going with that. Send it over, ladies. Send your little love letters and your flowers and whatever else. I'm totally fine with that. Okay, so now we're going to need more frost teams, because right now we've got a team currently building this road there. So we either need A, more frost teams, or B... Oh, look at that. Population went up a bit. I'm going to go for those frost teams, but yeah. We need them to finish that road, and we need more frost teams anyway to go to the more dangerous sections of the map. Kind of a way to prevent you from expanding too quickly. There's a lot of little artificial things that they do explain, I think, appropriately in this game to kind of restrict you from doing things too quickly. Mining complex active. Good. Is it actually delivering? Oh, yeah. It looks like they did actually finish the construction of that. But they're working here at the, yeah, they're working at the mining coal complex. Or the coal mining complex has 10 people working there. But we'll get some more scouts shortly. So far, so good, man. Alright, temperature's about to drop twice here shortly. One at about 80 days and one at about 120 days, it looks like. Guard squads, Frostland teams. Oh yeah, things of great complexity await us. Progress towards progress is increasing. Everything else we're kind of waiting on. Let's do some more research, shall we? Let's do... And we need money and whatnot for this too. But we had to stay in the black here. Maintenance duty. Housing blocks. Maintenance duty might be good, because then we'll have a reduction of the materials demand, which will be significantly decreased. No one else shares this idea. Oh, only the laborers like that idea. Well, that's a pretty damn good idea. Who should bear the burden of maintaining the city? All do maintenance. Yeah, having everybody do it would be a great idea. But we have to first research that idea, then we have to put it into laws. It showed the little council below that too. So some things are devices in which we can build, and some are laws in which we can enact policies. Eat your heart out, City Skylines. This game actually has some real policies, yo. Alright, so far so good. I'm happy with all this. We're getting a lot of extra coal.
To keep your heat lamp maintained. It might just save your life.
Maybe so. Alright, now it'll be filled. Our supply will be filled in 10 weeks. So what we could do is we could fill up the stockpile of coal and then shut off the external mine and then go do something else. Or cut back on the mine here and keep this for emergencies. So we could shut this district down if we wanted and have these people go work somewhere else. Or cut back on the people working here, which might be a good idea since we have so much coal. So let's cut that down to maybe... I'm guessing that's somewhere around 20%. Actually, probably not. But anyway, now we got 1,300 people free. So let's go for our next problem, which is more materials. So let's build another district down here for the materials. And then I think we'll build another district around that, or expand the current one if we need to. Alright, great. So you can see the little gear there, the efficiency is decreased. I don't know if that affects safety or anything like that. It's very much Frostpunk to make it so that way if you don't have enough workers, something could go wrong. But easy does it for those folks, I think. Population growth progress is 77%. Our population is rising steadily. Good. So research is going. Council is going. It's all going according to my non-existent plan. Excellent. Good. Oh, look at that. You can see people going out into the wastelands. Cool. All right. Well, we're done frost breaking down here, but we still don't have enough heat stamps. Everybody's pretty neutral of us. I think we'll do some policies that might help the forgers a bit more. So let's raise funds from them. Keep things moving. We'll work on keeping them happy now. They pay the fee, and then, you know, then they get a law passed. And it's not lobbying. It's not illegal. It's no, nothing like that. You know, we're just making do with what we got. Okay, a little bit more on the prefabs, to which we're gaining 15 per week. And there could be more shortly, if we happen to find some. I think that was it for prefabs. Oh, there's a few more way down there, though. Way down there. Wow, way out in the... I didn't even notice those. That's way out there. That's going to take a long time and a lot of heat stamps. But I'd rather go and explore the Frostlands first. I feel like as you're exploring the Frostlands, you're also exploring your city, too. The frost breaking is kind of like that as well, to where it takes time to scale up to that. Very neat. So we want 200 prefabs for our logistics district. Oh, look at that. We're positive now in the materials. Very good. Finally. Housing is a little short. We'll build a district when that gets a little bit more of a higher demand. And food, we definitely need to expand on food too. All right, we've got just enough supplies now to build that logistics district. And we have something going on here. Sue Miller says that the lack of laws regulating childhood is causing tensions to rise throughout the city. Not happy that the kids don't have something to do during the day. They're out causing trouble. So we'll give the youngsters some schooling or some apprenticeship, or perhaps they yearn for the mines. If you've watched this far in the video, comment down below. The children yearn for the mines. I want to know who's been locked in for Frostpunk 2. Hell yeah, brother. Alright, we're going to build that logistics district, and then finally, we can go and explore more of the Frostlands. Beautiful. Cool. Also, it says the city. Can we name the city? Oh my god, you can! You can rename your city too. Alright, let me know your city ideas down below in the comments section as well. I'd love to know what you would think that we should rename that. Double-click left mouse button to focus on the city. Oh, there you go. Cool. Very cool indeed. Very chill. Very icy. Very frosty. Well, I hate to do this to you, but that is the end of our first episode of the Utopia Builder mode for Frostpunk 2. It's really cool. I'm very excited to actually do more of this in endless mode than ever before. I honestly love the scenarios in Frostpunk 2 and in the original Frostpunk a lot, but I think this Utopia Builder mode is even better than the endless mode in the original Frostpunk. Very ambitious and a lot more to balance for society and different factions and their relations between each other than it is survival. Although there's plenty of that as well. You never know. The city must not fall. Alright, well, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Seriously, I would love to read a lot of what your thoughts on the game are and reply to many of your questions and opinions on it. And I hope to see you very soon for much more of Frostpunk 2. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.